So
Ooh.
welcome. We are so excited to have you all here today to learn about the World Affairs Council, community building, and mentorship. So a little background on us. My name is Samantha Skory. I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, but I've been in San Antonio for the last 8 or so years. It's gone by so fast. I'm honestly just amazed at all of the incredible things happening in the city, and it's growing so fast. And, there's a million things happening at any given point. I have a bachelor's in psychology and communication from Trinity, which is just across the street from Incarnate Word. So, neighbors. And I just got my master's in international relations from St. Mary's University. So I don't know if we have anyone from St. Mary's tuning in, but if so, let me know. It's very exciting to meet fellow Rattlers. I'm a huge fan of international politics, history, and Cold War. I talk about it constantly. It's just a thing people know about me. I'm even trying to learn Russian so that I can be even nerdier about my obsession. It's going poorly. It's a very hard language. And I work as an international programs coordinator for the World Affairs Council. And I'm absolutely loving getting to know this international community even better and then getting to know you guys today. Oh, I'm in charge of the PowerPoint as well.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm an intern with the World Affairs Council of San Antonio. I'm originally from Florida, so I just technically graduated, I guess as much as one can graduate with COVID-19 circumstances, from the New College of Florida in Sarasota. And while I was there, I majored in Middle Eastern Studies with a specific focus on Turkish social history and culture, and for a time had a David L. Bourne Scholarship for academic achievement in this field and to further learn Turkish. Come the fall, I will be a graduate student at the University of Oxford to further pursue modern Middle Eastern studies. If you haven't figured it out by now, I love Middle Eastern studies. And I especially have an interest in Turkey and Turkish language. So my love for global affairs and the Middle East has definitely inspired me to be a part of the World Affairs Council.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marianne Maldonado. I work with the World Affairs Council of Greater Houston, and I'm so excited to have had this role. My background is in international trade, working with the governments of Canada and also the UK and in the energy field. And mix all of that together and you get a wonderful conglomeration of the World Affairs Councils. We're a network of councils. We have offices all across the country. And each one of our World Affairs Councils does something a little bit unique and different. Here in Houston, we are a very international community, hosting close to 100 different consulates just in our city alone. So we have the great opportunity to engage our community in understanding what's happening globally because it does impact us locally. So we're so glad you tuned in today and we look forward to sharing with you.
Awesome. So we'll rewind a little bit and talk about what is the World Affairs Council. So the World Affairs Council of America started in 1986 in Washington, D.C. It oversees World Affairs Councils in over 90 cities around the U.S. and helps promote internationally minded programs and educational initiatives. So the San Antonio chapter takes this goal very seriously, and we're deeply devoted to it. So our mission is to promote public understanding of world affairs and U.S. foreign policy, and to enhance the ability of the people of San Antonio and future leaders to participate in the global community. So we do this a number of ways. We host lecture series, receptions, networking events, discussion groups, book clubs, educational outreach programs, and we even have a young professionals program. And Marianne, if you want to talk about the Greater Houston chapter.
Right, we do something very, very similar. We bring in international leaders from all across the world to help us more greatly understand what's happening. And it's so important in these days to really understand how something that maybe started in China will affect you as you sit here in your kitchen or your living room or your bedroom and learn about what's happening around the world. So I invite each one of you to get involved. We have many, many opportunities that are free and open to the public. We also have, each one of our councils have a membership opportunity. You can get a little bit discount, but most things are generally free and open to the public. And it really helps educate you more broadly on different cultures and people and politics and communities. So I encourage every one of you to get involved. You will not be disappointed.
Thank you, Marianne. So as previously mentioned, we do a lot, clearly. We put on a million programs and panels ranging from, meeting diplomats to local leaders to, just a general overview of the Marshall Plan. We really try to cover it all. But we are especially proud of our ability to shift gears during the last year or so. During the pandemic, we've gone full steam ahead into virtual programming. And we've been very fortunate to have some speakers from all over the world. So if you guys remember the explosion in Beirut, Lebanon last August, we were very fortunate to get an on-the-ground look of the aftermath from a Lebanese doctor who was actually there. So, as he's treating patients, as he's trying to, sort out the damage, trying to just to get that firsthand perspective was really, really invaluable. So these are opportunities we just didn't have before. We've conducted a few Instagram Live interviews, which Brooke was in, and she was fantastic. They're very nerve-wracking, but they're a lot of fun. And we try to center our programs around what is most prevalent in the news at any given point. Our programs really aim to inform and encourage our members into asking hard questions about the world. We've also worked really hard to cultivate this very close-knit group of internationally minded young professionals. This group that I'm a very proud member of is honestly been my favorite part of quarantine. I've met some incredible people, and I'm so lucky to kind of have this community. Everyone involved, including Isabella, who is here today as well, has such a global mindset, and it's fascinating to learn about each person's individual interests. So through this, I've been able to, have discussions with a member from Kazakhstan in broken Russian, while the group next to me is talking about protest movements in France. So it really is just an incredible group of individuals. We also will sometimes try to meet and, talk about global affairs with some wine. We just try to have fun with it. But this goes hand in hand with our networking events, which are an amazing opportunity to meet our incredible and very accomplished board members, panelists, academics, and local leaders. While we are waiting until quarantine ends, until it's safe to continue these events in person, they're a wonderful time, and discussions that come out of these events can help you get rec letters, internships, insight into the world of international relations, or even get you a job. So, don't dismiss the power of networking as well. Additionally, the World Affairs Council has these internship opportunities, but I'm going to let Isabella jump in with her experiences.
Thank you so much, Samantha. As usual, always a pleasure working with you. So, yes, the internships at the World Affairs Council, I've absolutely loved my experience thus far. There's so much flexibility offered and a lot of opportunities to work in a variety of different capacities with a variety of different departments. For example, so this year, let's see, I joined in December of 2020. And although I've been working virtually so far, I've had the really wonderful opportunity to take on, as I said, a variety of different administrative tasks, but also to sort of create my own position in working directly with Academic WorldQuest, which I'll get in more detail a little bit later. But generally, as far as what the internship requires, basically, there is, the opportunity to, work, to be present at different meetings, such as board meetings or development meetings. There's also the opportunity to work on a variety of different projects, namely Academic WorldQuest, but also the current membership project we're working on, where we're looking to spotlight different board members each month. There's also the opportunity to be a part of conferences like this one. and to research grants for the organization and to aid in programming. Obviously, this has all been done virtually for the past few months. And in person, things would look a bit different, and perhaps, an intern would have more of a direct role within programming, being actually in person present at meetings. But thus far, I've, in my own experience, have felt very involved in learning not only how a nonprofit works, but also how the World Affairs Council really aims to keep its community globally literate. So going off of that, one of the main roles I've had is being an Academic WorldQuest coordinator. So what Academic WorldQuest is it is a high school international affairs trivia competition. So my role was
very hard.
Yes, the questions featured in the trivia portion of the competition are, wow. I had trouble with most of them. So these are some really smart students that are participating in the competition. My role was to recruit different schools in the San Antonio area. We had, I think, a total of 6 schools participate this year, and about 11 teams in total, because schools could put forward multiple teams of 4 students. And of course, it was virtual this year. So that was a bit of a learning curve, since generally this competition is done in person. But it has both a local and a national level. So I was working at the local level. And basically, what I learned through this experience was how to recruit schools, how to best get them on board. Hint, it's a lot of phone calls and emailing. And to also, how is it, obviously, addressing the learning curve for virtually. So in person, generally, we would have judges reading questions. We would have all the students present in one room, all of that. So we had to say, okay, well, all the students will be participating virtually. How will that look? Will they be in rooms together? Will they be separate? And we had to adapt for each school. So not only learning, basically how to put on an Academic WorldQuest, but how to put it on virtually was a really valuable experience as an intern, because as an intern, you have to learn to adapt to whatever situation the company is currently facing. And right now it's COVID-19. So everything has to be adapted virtually. And so I was very thankful to be along for the ride, and the new learning curve of how to use the virtual world to our benefit. Yes, so I've really loved my experience as an intern, and I really encourage all students, if you're interested in being a part of an organization like this that really aims to keep its community globally literate, definitely look into becoming an intern with the World Affairs Council. And now that I remember, one last thing, perhaps one of the greatest benefits of being an intern is also being able to be a part of a community of young people that are also very globally minded, such as through the Young Professionals, which I'm happy to say I'm also a part of. So yes, definitely, if you're interested, look into becoming an intern with the World Affairs Council.
And then Marianne, if you want to talk about some of the international travel, I know it sounds fantastic and I really want to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. One of the great things that the World Affairs Council brings you is an education about what's happening around the world. And one of the ways that you can do that is if you have an interest in going abroad, or quite honestly, outside of the city that you're living in right now, the World Affairs Council of Greater Houston has a travel program that is open to anybody. It gives you an opportunity to go around the world with small groups that are specifically focused on geopolitical understanding. What that means is we might go over to 3 countries or 2 countries. It depends on the area, really. And for example, we would go into, let's use Turkey as the example, and go into Istanbul and really do all the fun touristy things. But in addition, we might visit the US Embassy there, or we might have dinner with a local journalist or someone who's involved in their city government, city or country government. So it gives you a great opportunity to have a learning experience in a small group environment. And it's very affordable, and it's also a plug and play environment. So you just pay one price, we take care of everything. You get, you pick your airfare that you like, and then we arrange all the professional guides and the transportation and security, of course, if there's a need for that. We do go when it's to places where and when it's safe to go to, but we're not afraid to go to places like Iran. So it's very, very interesting, and you can find all that on our website at wachhouston.org.
I am so excited. I want to sign up right now.
Hey.
So through all of these opportunities, the World Affairs Council really works hard to create a sense of community. So San Antonio and Houston are such huge cities with such a diverse and international population. So we want to help showcase all of the incredible cultures and mindsets that these cities have to offer. So the World Affairs Council works to bring the community together so that people who are interested in international affairs, which I think is most of you because you are tuned in today, since those people that are interested can meet other like-minded people and build out some of those connections. So you can meet former ambassadors and hear wild stories about their time abroad and being accused of kidnapping in Venezuela. I think it was Venezuela. Or even just meet up with a coffee with fellow World Affairs Council members, talk about tragedies happening in Myanmar. So this is just a community of people who want to bring the world to San Antonio and San Antonio to the world. Plus, you'll always learn something new. And as students, you're all figuring out your next steps. So if your next step takes you to Kansas City, you'll have a World Affairs Council out there to join. Or if you end up in Connecticut, you'll be happy to know there's a council there too. So we're all around the US, and it's nice to know that there's a community waiting for you wherever you go. And Marianne, if you want to jump in about this super important topic.
It is important. And I know those of you who are logging in go, mentorship, oh, that sounds boring. Well, it certainly is not a boring topic to me. And one of the past roles I've had in my career is I had the opportunity to mentor CEOs. And why I feel this is so important is because you just don't know what you don't know. And I am a strong advocate for having a third-party mentor in your life. I, to this day, have a mentor in my life, and they're important in a number of different ways. And so I just wanted to briefly tell you about some of those areas and why I feel it's so important for you to engage and have someone outside of your sphere of influence, not your mom, not your dad, not your aunt, maybe not even your instructors or a close friend, but having a third party that is helps you really develop in some areas that maybe you may not see in yourself. Mentors help you develop a high level of a core value. It's always interesting. We focus on, well, I have to learn this language or I have to get this skill set, but do we focus on core values and making sure we're exemplifying those core values? Honesty, integrity, respect, confidence, responsibility, perseverance, courtesy, judgment. It's so important for you to be seen by an established set of core values. Some people can say, I know that Marianne is going to be there and she's going to, move mountains to make it happen. Well, that's a core value that I wanted to develop in myself and have people recognize and notice. So, it's important to think about those things. Secondly, it's going to be important that you take ownership of your learning. It doesn't come through lectures. You have to actually learn by doing. So mentors can help you find challenges and give you tasks that push you to develop new skills. So, make sure that you're finding someone that can challenge you in those areas. They can also help you develop life skills. And this is so very important as you establish your career and you begin your professional career as well as your life skills. So making sure that you're setting yourself attainable goals, challenging yourself all the while to do more than you're currently doing. Some challenges might seem so far outside of accomplishment, but through the help of kind of a third party individual encouraging you, it's so very important. And you'll really feel so proud of yourself for accomplishing it. One of the things I did was I decided that 8 years ago that I was going to run marathons. So I got in an accountability group, a running group, and I was not a runner ever. So they challenged me in very small ways, but significant ways. Now, years later, I've completed 5 marathons. So get yourself a third party group. They also help you make positive choices. We all face decisions in life. Some decisions are easy, while others might take a careful consideration. So that third party can help you really shed light, consider the outcomes and repercussions that maybe your mom, your dad, your family, your best friend might not be able to reveal to you. Then lastly, a mentor helps strengthen your interpersonal skills. It helps you expand your professional relationships beyond the opportunities that you see right in front of you. In a few weeks, I'll be having a conversation with Speaker John Boehner, Chelsea Clinton. Who knew that little old me would be having conversations with some very, very powerful and influential people. And it's all because someone challenged me early on. So it's important. You can get so much through having a third-party mentor, and just reach when you're seeking someone. Make sure they're outside kind of your circle of friends and influencers, because I think there is a real value there. And I wish you all the luck in finding a great mentor.
Thank you so much, Marianne. We have a little bit of time left. Wanted to ask if anyone had any questions for us. If you do, if you want to put them in the chat, we can answer them right now. And speaking of, these upcoming talks that Marianne was talking about, here are some of our upcoming events if you want to join the World Affairs Council community now. So we have programs like these all year long, so feel free to join whenever. I'm especially proud. I just started the book club, so I'm very excited. And we're doing it in honor of Arab American Heritage this month. So there's still time for you to sign up and, join in the discussion if you want. And as Marianne was saying, we got John Boehner and then some awesome talks. You guys are always having a million programs, so you will never have a shortage of fascinating topics to jump into.
One of the things I will add is sometimes we might think, well, I don't know anything about that. Good, that's even more fun. There's so many things I don't know about. So I encourage you, if you're afraid or you don't think you know anything about Arab relations, or you don't think you know anything about the Middle East, great, come learn. It's really, really fun. I learned something at every single program that we host.
So we hope you guys learned something today. We really enjoy that you guys were able to come and hang out with us for this bit, and let us know if you have any questions.
Yes, thank you all for coming.
And if you are wondering, how do I get involved? We have our contact information. So if you want to reach out to us, you can also reach out through our respective websites. You can be as involved as you want to be. If you, really want to dive in and do everything, we got a place for you. If you want to attend 1 or 2 events and kind of take it easy and just do the stuff you're interested in, absolutely. It's very dependent on what you feel comfortable doing. And we want it to be something that you enjoy and have fun doing, as opposed to something that becomes a chore after a while. I have a question for you guys, though. Well, I guess my fellow panelists. Do you guys have a favorite program that you've been involved in or that you've seen?
Oh, that's hard.
I got the opportunity to interview Nikki Haley, which was one of the
She's amazing.
Individuals who stood out, and it was a very, very large event. And yes, I was really nervous, but yeah, it was really great. And she made me feel so comfortable and so at ease. And maybe
That's
she'll be the next president. You never know.
I mean, that's what she's ramping up for, it looks like.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I think on my end, like there's been so much that I've been involved with that I could speak about. I definitely had a great time with Academic WorldQuest, and it was so interesting to not only be involved in, the recruitment part of it, but then also in the actual like conducting of the day's event. It was really fun to see, like to go from, okay, how are we going to do this, to actually putting it on in the virtual platform. So I really had fun with that, and with all the really incredibly smart high school students that were involved. And actually today they're at their 3 of our teams are at their
Their
national
national.
competition. Yeah. So if you know Keystone and TMI Episcopal, they're there repping San Antonio at the national competition today, which is
We
also,
are very proud of them.
yeah, super proud of them.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed like all of our programs. I'm really enjoying doing book club right now. It's been really fascinating to kind of center it around a specific topic and then get some incredible people in the community to speak to those, those discussion points. We also did a program a few months back where we partnered with the Canadian government and the Mexican government to do this migration without borders kind of thing, and talking about how kind of nature doesn't have any borders. So we were talking about the natural migration of, monarchs and various animals who, start their journey in Canada and then, throughout the year end up in Mexico. And it doesn't really matter that, they're technically separate countries because nature has no borders. And so we did that and we had a lot of fun. We also had it translated into both French and Spanish simultaneously, which was a lot of coordination and a lot of hard work, and I hope it worked well. But it was just fascinating to kind of get this whole community together. It looks like we do have a question from Diego Sanchez. So asking if there's any opportunities in World Affairs Council for him if he's from Mexico. Do you want to jump in, Marianne?
Sure. Diego, I'm not sure if you live in Mexico or if you're in the States or...
He lives in Mexico.
He lives in Mexico. Okay, great. Certainly there are remote opportunities, as we've seen through the internet. Nothing is impossible. And so if you're interested in connecting with Houston or San Antonio, I would encourage you. I don't know if you guys have internships outside of the US, but right now, as was just said, borders are not an obstacle for us right now. So reach out to us, separately and see what we can do.
Yeah, we do have, remote internships right now. And then we do all the programming virtually right now. So if you want to get involved with a specific program, or if there's something that you feel like World Affairs Council is missing in San Antonio and you want to jump in and help out and, get involved, you have our emails right up here. You can also reach out through our website, but, we are very global. We're trying to be a lot more, internationally involved. So we absolutely love when there's involvement from actual other places. So we would love to have your participation. So yeah, just reach out.
Absolutely. And we even have a program on US-Mexico relations next week. So to have your voice there would be absolutely wonderful.
This one.
Tuesday, April 20th.
Yes. And we do really enjoy getting to work together with other councils. It doesn't happen often enough, but whenever it does, it's always a great time to kind of meet the people in other cities who are, living in your position. So we had a program with the World Affairs Council of Austin yesterday to do a program. And then we are doing a barbecue competition, like the meet off, basically, with the World Affairs Council of Charlotte in North Carolina. So we're going to compare which is better, Texas barbecue or North Carolina barbecue. So I'm biased, so I'm going to say it's for sure Texas. But it's a friendly competition. Yeah. But it's just nice to be able to work with people who are also very internationally minded in different cities and different states. It gives me a lot of hope and, excitement for the world.
Definitely. And, it's so interesting because all of the councils, they all have a very similar function and a very similar mission. But each of them do things slightly differently depending on where they are and depending on how large cities are. And of course, all of that factors in. But what I found really useful was during Academic WorldQuest, going and asking advice from other councils, such as Austin, such as Dallas, for aid in understanding how they put on their virtual Academic WorldQuest. Because then we were able to factor their advice and suggestions into our own virtual Academic WorldQuest. And then from our experience doing that, I was able to help World Affairs Council of San Diego put theirs on as well through a phone call. So, the councils really rely upon each other for help with their programming.
We also have an adult WorldQuest competition that we do annually, and we've done for 20 plus years. And we host a dinner. Some people dress up in different international garb, if you will. We have a dinner, and we have a fun game of international trivia over dinner. So if you're interested in that, you can contact the Houston World Affairs Council.
Yeah, we do as well. We didn't this past year because of the pandemic and everything, but we are excited to bring back our trivia nights. But be warned, those questions are very hard. They're going to make you feel like you don't know anything.
You're going to have to study.
They're a lot of fun. So yeah, we are looking forward to putting on that as well.
And also ours is done in a group format. So,
That's helpful.
1 out of, 8 or so people, they know the answer. So it's fun to recruit your really smart friends in your group too. Mm-hmm.
You can start building your groups now. Mm-hmm. That way you'll be ready for it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's great to have different corporate business leaders who are in international business on your team, because they usually know a lot about the world that maybe you don't. And so recruiting is a big fun part of that. Any other questions? Don't see too many questions. I guess we did a good job answering everything about the World Affairs Council.
It's been very informative.
Yeah, well, I definitely wanted to just take a minute and thank you all, Marianne, Samantha, Isabella, for joining us and putting this on and sharing this great information about the WAC with us. And so, yeah, they shared, as Samantha said, they shared their contact information. And so if you're interested, I'd definitely encourage you to reach out to see how you can get involved with this one of these great organizations. So we still have a few minutes left though in this session. So I still encourage if you have questions, to feel free, put those in the chat or you can ask them. And I also just shared a link in this chat as well. If you could just take a short survey just to review this session. And then there's also the link to the conference booklet if you need that again to figure out what your next session is going to be. Just a side note, there's some changes right now going on for session 4. So some of those Zoom links may be different. So just pay attention in the next session where they'll provide you with those updated links in there. But yeah, I will be quiet now and let y'all ask any additional questions that you may have.
I wanted to ask the audience to expand upon their answers for what country you are looking forward to visiting once it's safe to travel. So I saw Turkey, there's a lot of Turkey, which same. Canada, Malawi. I would love to hear more about, the places you guys want to go and kind of why.
Japan, that's interesting. We did a trip there about 2 years ago. People loved it.
And jump in, Molly Holmes, study abroad coordinator at Sam Houston State University, and Japan has been on my bucket list for many years. And I was supposed to go this year for a birthday trip. Didn't happen, so that's high on my list right now.
I was supposed to go to Morocco and Spain last year,
Yeah.
and that did not happen. And I've been wanting to go for years, but when I can, I will be there.
I was supposed to, with the David L. Bourne scholarship I was supposed to go to Azerbaijan. And then obviously because of COVID, but then there was also a war between Azerbaijan and Armenia, there hadn't been a skirmish in like 30 years. So out of every year, pandemic plus war, it just didn't end up happening, unfortunately, but there will be other years.
Mhm.
Yeah, Samantha, for me, Spain is also on my bucket list. So I'd like to go. I shared that earlier today. So that's a little bit, and on my mother's side, that's our heritage is Spanish. And so I'd love to be able to kind of go visit and learn more about that history and culture over there.
I think distantly, my mom's side is partially from there because they're from, my mom's maiden last name is Avila. And there's a little town in Spain called Avila. So we have it we don't know the full history, but we like to say that some distant relative is from there, and that's why we had our last name.
I noticed Diego shared in the chat the United States. So I guess I don't think about that being on the boat.
Yeah,
Do
I
you have a
actually
particular
applied to Los Angeles and I lost it due to COVID. So that's sad. I've never been to the US, so I guess it will be another time.
Well, we would love to host you in San Antonio or Houston.
Yeah.
Or there's also,
Yeah.
councils we can reach out
I
to
think
in
I
California
can
as
change
well.
the destiny.
And Isabella, you want to go to Turkey, but you also speak Turkish. So that's a lot more helpful.
Yeah, I mean, my Turkish is, it's at a lower intermediate level, so I'm definitely not fluent, but it is helpful. Definitely, especially, I mean, Istanbul, more people, speak English than don't, but definitely to travel around Turkey, it's very helpful to have it since Turkey is more, I would say it's generally less touristic than the majority of European countries, but that also makes it really wonderful and exciting to go to because you're seeing it very, I guess there's more of an authenticity to it in certain ways. So, but also I just have a genuine interest in Turkish language and find it very beautiful. So it's fun to speak. It is also very difficult. They use the Latin alphabet, but the word order is totally different. So
When
you have to
lead that trip, I'm going with you.
Yeah, definitely come with me. It's so much fun and you will eat so much good food.
I'm looking forward to it. Now it looks like we are almost out of time. So if there's any last questions, let us know. If not, then maybe we can let you guys go early, take a bathroom break before starting the next panel.
Yeah, so there's about a 10-minute break, I guess. The next session will start at 10:45. All of the registrants should have just received an email probably minutes ago with the Zoom link updates. So you might want to take this break as an opportunity to check your email, get those new links so you know where you'll be going for the session 4 that starts later in the day. So but yeah, so that's it. Brooke, were you going to make an announcement?
I was just going to pop in here because I noticed it was just y'all and Kelsey McLean, and I just wanted to say hi in person. So this was great. I love it. I've got all 3 computers doing everybody's presentations right now, and this was so fun. Thank you so much to the 3 of you ladies for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting us.
Brooke.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
And reach out again next year.
Yes,
Yes.
we'll let them know.
That sounds great. Well, have a great Friday, everyone.
Yes.
Happy
Enjoy
Friday,
your
everybody.
weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Have a
Bye.
great
You too,
day,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.